Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. The NNPP presidential aspirant Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has finally revealed the conspiracy against Peter Obi in the northern part of the country. Don't forget that the issue of their alliance, talking about NNPP presidential aspirant and that of LP, has been lingering for a long time. As of yesterday, he came out to tell Nigerians that it's not possible for that alliance to hold except on a specific condition, which he mentioned that if the person will accept to be his running mate. When they talk about the issue of Peter Obi, he said, well, he has to be his running mate. But right now, he has further revealed why he wouldn't want to be a running mate to Peter Obi. Reason being that the conspiracy is already there and that Northerners have made up their mind to do this one thing that you're going to be hearing from the news in a jiffy. And according to the news, the presidential candidate of the new Nigerian People's Party, Rabi Kwankwaso, has stated that Peter Obi will not get the vote of the North because the region have already made up their minds on who to vote for. The former Kano state governor, who was speaking during today's edition of Sunday Politics on Channel Television, said when the northern voters made up their mind on who to vote for, it would be difficult to change it. The northern voters have always voted based on their own opinions, and they can hardly be influenced by any elite or anybody you can think of. He cited the example of President Muhammadu Buhari, who also scored the highest number of votes in the North when he was vying for the post of the presidency. He said, for example, if you look at the case of Muhammadu Buhari at that time, the Northern voters decided that it was him. Most of the elites didn't like him, but the Northern voters made up their mind, and that is why each time there is election, he always scores a certain number of votes from the North. Rabi Kwankwaso went further to say that even in the forthcoming general election, the northern voters have made up their mind to vote for the new Nigerian People's Party. This time around, the northern voters have made up their mind on what to do in the forthcoming general election. Northern voters have made up their mind to vote for NMPP. Nobody can change it. I have been going around the country and we have structures everywhere. He went further to say that being Peter Obi's running mate would mean both of them will lose the election because northern voters will vote for a northern candidate. For this reason, Kwankwaso believes that those asking him to become Obi's running mate are enemies who already know what the outcome would be. That is what the enemies outside there is saying, that I should be a running mate to Peter Obi. The implication is that if you put somebody from the southeast, unfortunately, there are many issues in the southeast. You see, the northern voter is the worst hit in the issue of maladministration in this country. But even in that circumstance, the northern voter believes he is better off with one united Nigeria. Therefore, most of the things that are happening in the south, the southeast, especially the southeast, people are not comfortable with that. And as long as they have anybody from there in any party, it will be very difficult for the northern voters to vote. When asked if he would desire to be Obi's running mate, the former governor added, You see, I am jobless now. I am not doing any job, so becoming a vice president, why not? Those were the words of Kwankwaso. And if you listen very well and you are not a strong hearted person, you will be intimidated by some of the statements that he has made, especially when he said that already they have made up their minds to vote for a northern aspirant. They are not considering anybody who is outside the shores of the north, and which therefore means the issue of ethnicity is still on, and which also mean they are yet to comprehend what is actually happening in the country. Because if as at now the northerners are yet to come to terms with the issue of good governance, they still believe that whether there is good governance or not, whether we are suffering or not, it should be anybody that is from their own part. Then the future is very bleak. But at the same time, really dispute. I really dispute with Kwankwaso on that. Because if this is the truth, then from 1999 till date, it should be all Hausas should be, Northerners should always be the president. But we had a case of, People Democratic Party from inception. It was Olusegun Obasanjo. Yes, they will say it was generally accepted. Okay, how about when Jonathan came on board? Didn't he win? Okay, how about the issue of APC, when they went for their primaries just few weeks ago? Why did they give it to Bola Ahmed Tinubu? So there is no truth in what he's saying. It's just a way of intimidating and putting pressure on the confidence of Peter Obi. I believe that Peter Obi by this time should have grown above all this kind of talk that we are hearing on the news. It's a way of trying to work against him right now by virtue of a lot of things that is happening around Peter Obi. If he is not a man who had been or who is overly determined to get that position, he will be threatened. It's a phase, and guess what is going to pass? And I'm so sure that all this thing Kwankwaso is saying, he has little or no truth in them. Very soon, by the time the wind of Peter Obi will blow and take over the entirety of the northern part of the country, I'm so sure that reasonable number of them will vote for him. Now, one would have been comfortable with words that let us eat his money on that same day. We will not vote for him. This is the same place you're talking about where the northern youths, Arewa themselves, are the one. Arewa youths are the one who are using their own money. Peter Obi is not giving them any money. They are using their own money to carry out campaign. Fairly recently, we heard about a launch in Kaduna State. Who did it? Was it his team that did it? Of course, no. It was the youth there that they made up their mind to carry out that launch, and we saw the mammoth crowd that came out. The same thing happened in Benue State. More than almost close to 1 million people were there, and they received him with all their heart. You understand? So what are we talking about? It's totally false information. I will say that because we have seen different situations where a northerner will lose even in the north. Okay, look at this issue of primaries. What actually happened in primaries? Was it not a case of, Ahmed Lawan coming out and people were a little bit threatened? The Southerners were threatened that, these guys will likely take everything. But they ended up voting for who? For Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So what are we saying here? This story, this one is just a story so that he would threaten Peter Obi. For now, personal advice to Peter Obi is that he should forget about the issue of alliance. The love that he has gotten was not traceable to anything like go and create an alliance with this person and then we'll support you. There was nothing like that. The people saw his track record, saw how everything about him was verifiable, his document, his performance. He had made mention of his performance, superb performance in Anambra State. Till today, nobody came out and said, this thing this man is saying, it was a lie. He was eating money this way. He was eating money this way. He was eating money. Nobody has come out to say that. And that is enough to awaken the consciousness of the youth based on what is on ground today. The level, even if one would tell me that northerners do not even reason fine and all of that. How about the issue of insecurity they are suffering? Is it something they are enjoying? Of course, no. They will want a government that will correct this narrative no matter what. And guess what? Wherever the person comes from, they are okay with it because this current administration, the leader is from the northern part of the country. But yet, what they are passing through, Southerners are not passing through the same thing. Today, if you come to the southern part of Nigeria, Lagos State, Anambra State, Akwa Ibom State, Port Harcourt, give it a name. You see them cluster there. They left their communities and come down to the south. And I know they are not comfortable with the life they are living here. They would like to go back and continue with their groundnut farm. They will want to go back and continue with their tomatoes farm and all of that. They have lost a lot of things. So this kind of talk is for baby politicians. A time has come that Peter Obi needs to move on. He just needs to forget about anything like alliance. Look for a reasonable and reliable person in the north who have undented record, especially in the area of corruption. Get a hold of that person and start running. And guess what? If he's determined, he will get supporters for himself. That's why I like to leave it. Go to our comment section. Let's interact. What's your standpoint on